Hello again, YouTube. I'm back. There was another interesting, politically charged experience I went through just recently that I want to share with you all. So, one thing you gotta know about me, I am a huge sports fan. I follow all four of the major North American sports: basketball, football, baseball, and hockey. In that order, from like favorite to least favorite. I know hockey's my least favorite. What kind of Canadian am I? Anyways, besides the point. So I got this app that I downloaded a few years ago, right? It's called the Score app. Now, many of you may be familiar. Many of you may even actually have this app. But you may have also noticed that sports itself has become incredibly politically involved and charged and increasingly one sided as a result. So I was on the Score app a little while ago and I was reading this article, and the article was all about player Chris Paul in the NBA. He had held some kind of event or gave some kind of speech, or I can't remember the exact details. Basically, he teamed up with Michelle Obama to promote um, more athletes, professional athletes, to go out and vote. And there was a special emphasis on encouraging Black Americans to vote because apparently they have not been a huge part. They have not taken part, many of them, in elections, haven't been making it out to the polls. So they really want to get the black population more involved. And that's wonderful too. I mean, I salute that. I support that 100%. Everyone, everywhere, all demographics should be actively participating in the government, in elections, and that of course includes Black Americans should make their voices heard. So, this article was all about, voting, encouraging people to go out and vote. And so, obviously, with an election coming up, um, it's probably safe to say that there are some people who saw this article who supported one particular presidential candidate, and some of the readers probably supported another presidential candidate. Not everyone just supports one side. Anyone with common sense understands this. But apparently, the people running things over at the Score app don't understand this because I went to leave a comment on this article, right? And you may have also noticed that there are a lot of articles on the Score app that are increasingly having comments disabled because a lot of people are leaving comments that are challenging the mainstream left's narrative, including the one that has infected our professional sports. So, fortunately, this article was allowing comments, or at least I thought at the time that was fortunate. So I thought it's an article all about voting, getting people out there to vote, participating in the election. That excludes me, of course. I'm a Canadian citizen. I can't vote, but like all of you know so far, I do support Donald Trump. Nonetheless, I hope he does win. If I could vote in the US election, I would undoubtedly vote for Trump. So I clicked on the comments link. I went to go leave a comment, and I typed up my comment, Trump 2020 exclamation mark. It's an election. Some people are going to support Trump, some people are going to support Biden, and that's fine. I personally support Trump. I want to express that because this whole article was talking about voting in an election. So I type Trump 2020 exclamation mark, and when I click on the button to post the comment, I got this pop up in the app that said, "We're sorry, your comments violate our community guidelines." I then clicked the link on their community guidelines to see what those guidelines exactly entailed. And I didn't really see anything that said no mentioning Donald Trump because we don't like him. I saw basic things like no swearing, no cursing, no using racial slurs, no trolling, whatever. That was all good. I don't think my comment violated any of those things. I am just a normal person who happens to support a particular presidential candidate, and I wanted to express that. But no, before I could even do that, the Score app comes out and says, no, we're not going to allow you to post that because it violates our guidelines. So right away you can tell there is clearly a concerted effort to silence the voice of those who would support the current president, and an overall effort to silence conservatives. This is one example of many, because here's the thing. Let's say hypothetically I was a Joe Biden supporter. So if I went to go type in Joe Biden 2020 in the comments section instead, I seriously doubt this Score app would have not allowed the comment to get posted. I didn't test that. I didn't type it up and try it just because, in the chance that the comment did post, I didn't want people thinking that I was a Joe Biden supporter. I don't want to put out false information about myself that will mislead people about my political affiliations. But I'm pretty confident if I typed up Joe Biden 2020, there probably would have been no attempt to disqualify my comment or not allow it to be posted. But no, because it's Trump and a lot of people really don't like him, they're not going to let you post that comment. So I was thinking, I don't really feel right just standing for this kind of censorship, this oppression of free opinion. So I thought of something else I could put in to express my support, express the political commitments that I had. So instead of typing up Trump 2020, I erased it and I put down 4 more years, exclamation mark. That is, of course, a much more subtle reference to Donald Trump. Any of you who may be supporters of his or may have seen some clips of his rally speeches, 4 more years, that's a common chant that they use at a lot of his rallies. You know, they chant 4 more years, 4 more years, right? So I was making that statement just to kind of imply that, hey, this is the side that I'm pulling for, because apparently Trump 2020 was too offensive. Yeah, so anyways, I mean, even if you're not a Trump supporter, even if you're a Biden supporter and you're watching this, I honestly don't care. You can support whoever you want. I just think that there is like something wrong with the overall picture, that the Score is clearly making an effort to say, oh, you can support this presidential candidate, but not this one, because we don't like him. We don't agree with him. So there's that. And but it's probably just a matter of time before the 4 more years comment is flagged down, and some repercussions are felt on my end for posting that. That is the extent to which these big tech corporations, these big tech companies really despise Donald Trump. That they won't allow you to comment on anything supporting him, and even a vague insinuation of supporting him could cost you something. So I don't know. I'm just waiting and seeing what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if they flagged my comment and did something like ban me or something. My older brother actually got banned from the Score app because he left a comment in which he said that he disagreed with defunding the police and dismantling the nuclear family, and the Score app banned him from posting comments for saying that, and they banned him for life. Like, for the rest of his life, he will never again be able to leave a comment on his account on the Score app because he said those things. And he told me that on the same comments thread, he saw someone else leaving comments saying, fuck the police. And again, the community guidelines clearly state, like, you should not use vulgar language, like, that's frowned upon. But I'm willing to bet that the guy that posted that probably isn't facing any consequences for it. Whereas my brother, who kept his language clean and backed up his opinion with reasoning and logic, he got banned for life from this app, and now they might try to do the same thing for me. So we'll just see what happens. Until then, keep it real, folks. I'll keep you posted.